Hello, we're going to be learning about unit planning. The overview for this session is thinking about the purpose for planning, principles of effective planning, elements of effective planning, responsibilities for planning, resources for planning, and also doing some revision. Purposes for planning. So the purpose for planning is to achieve system and school teaching and learning aims. Through planning, school leaders and teachers decide how to organise the school's curriculum. So the sum total of the learning and development experiences that are offered by a school formally and informally, and in class and out of class. Curriculum and assessment planning within schools occurs at 3 levels: whole school, year and unit planning. So depending on the schools in which you work in, but typically you will find whole school planning, which shows a sequence of learning, outlines the teaching and learning, and the support systems that are available, and include the school vision, beliefs and context. Year planning includes a mapping of multiple opportunities for children and young people to learn concepts and skills, and the application of these shows how evidence of learning will be gathered and shows alignment of teaching, learning and assessment, and also links with all the learning areas. Unit planning, which is what you are going to be learning to do in particular in the coming weeks, is about identifying the focus for learning across a shorter period of time for your particular class. It includes specific descriptors and achievement standards. It clarifies the evidence of learning that will be gathered for assessment and making judgments. It will show links to prior and future learning, identifies specific considerations for students, and it considers time and resources. Each plan complements the other as they work together to support student learning, from whole school planning to U-level plans down to the unit plan. Why plan? Besides the obvious, being organised is helpful. It actually improves student learning, which is good to know. It improves student learning by ensuring that the required knowledge, skills and understanding are included in the learning programs, that there is an in-depth of learning and increasing sophistication of learning as students progress through their schooling. It establishes for a range of audiences, so administrators, and schooling or education institutions, teachers, students and parents, a clear and shared understanding of the intentions for learning and achievement at whole school, year and unit levels. It promotes educationally principled decisions that support students' learning across and within learning areas, and demonstrates how each year plan and unit overview contributes to the whole school goals and builds a culture of high expectations, engaged learning and focused teaching. It identifies opportunities for professional conversations and professional development too. Principles of effective planning. High student expectations are built on differentiation of teaching and learning for all students in single and multiple year level contexts. Alignment. Curriculum and assessment planning is thoughtful and uses a systematic process for continually checking to ensure that all parts are connected. Teachers use standards to build a shared understanding of the qualities of student work and to communicate student achievement to students themselves, parents, carers and the system. Teachers exercise their professional judgment and make decisions about student learning in their school within the context of the specified curriculum requirements and system and sector priorities. So schools and teachers plan curriculum in a variety of ways. The process of planning is non-linear and iterative and involves many considerations. But these processes include identifying the curriculum, so being able to select the curriculum content, school priorities and context for learning, develop assessment, plan a variety of assessment instruments to collect comprehensive and meaningful evidence of learning, sequence teaching and learning, plan teaching strategies and learning experiences to respond to the needs and the interests of the learners, make judgments, use the evidence in student responses and consider how judgments will be made about the quality of learning, and using feedback to consider how and when to provide feedback. The 5 processes do not need to be used in any particular order, but all should be considered when planning units of work. Which process teachers choose to begin with will depend on a number of things. For example, whether the unit being developed is new or a revision of an existing unit, how the unit fits into the curriculum plan for the school or the key learning areas or the year level, and whether there is any feedback that suggests ways of improving the unit plan, and of course the context in which you're working and your students influences decision making here as well, around which way you want to start thinking about planning. So responsibilities for planning with the English curriculum. So the QCAA informs us of the time allocation for teaching English. So in the early years, the focus on the English curriculum is approximately 6 to 7 hours per week, and mid to upper primary is approximately 5 hours per week. So we're talking about a significant amount of your classroom time. Some resources that you need to access and become familiar with if you're not already. The QCAA provides a range of educational services to Queensland schools and the community. The QCAA develops and revises syllabuses and guidelines for kindergarten to year 12 and accredits syllabus and guidelines prepared outside of the QCAA. It also offers services and resources to help teachers implement QCAA syllabi. Assessment and moderation. The QCAA advises schools about administering assessment and coordinates NAPLAN in Queensland. Research. So QCAA also conducts and commissions research and undertakes policy analysis in areas such as syllabus development and evaluation, assessment, testing and certification. So then we've got the Australian curriculum, which provides us information about how the Australian curriculum is built around 3 interrelated strands of language, literature and literacy, and teaching and learning programs should balance and integrate all 3 strands. Together, the strands focus on developing students' knowledge, understanding and skills in listening, reading, viewing, speaking, writing and creating. Learning in English builds on concepts, skills and processes developed in earlier years, and teachers will revisit and strengthen these as needed. A range of resources can be explored on the Australian Curriculum website. Revision. Does this look familiar? I hope so. This is a revision of the Continuum of Literacy Instruction, which is the pedagogy and focus underpinning literacy, teaching and learning. The model is a toolkit for the teacher. It informs the teacher to know when and how to teach in different ways depending on the level of support required for the students as they are learning literacy. You can revise this model by returning to Literacy for the 21st Century text. Good luck revising those materials, and I'll see you again soon.